That is why we save. So with Luca in the party, she's not under-leveled or anything. It's just when you're not in the party, you don't actually gain techs and such. So I'm going to need this elevator ride. I'm going to have to go get that tab anyway, because she doesn't learn any of her techs if she's not actually in fights. And I need her to know... Really? You disappeared it on me? Yeah. Thanks. I'm gonna need her to know Fire 2 for this strategy to work. So a little annoying, but not completely unforeseen. Luca learn Protect. How long till Fire 2? Because that is really the only way we're going to survive that fight. Outside of just massive amounts of grinding. You still gain experience and such when you're outside the party, but not nearly as much. So she is I guess she is a little underleveled. Sadly. I need 362 TP. Okay. So we are going to have to do a little grinding. Which means we're going to have to fight some enemies. Of course, it was kind of undone by the fact that they popped her right off the bat with that spell. not get rid of all... I didn't, did I? No, I did not. Oh well. Monk's low enough. So now that I remembered how to fight these guys, clobber the warriors first. That took way too long. Shouldn't need very many more of these fights, because they're giving out quite a few TP for each fight. Oh, sure, do that. Okay, so what am I missing with these guys? I don't remember. And honestly, I can't really be bothered to remember. I'm more annoyed at myself with not bothering to level Luca at all, even though I knew I would need her for this section. At least now we have fire for this bit. Although I probably should have hit the mage first. Or else I could end up with all my text disabled, you know. Like that. This should still not be a hard elevator trip. Nope, still doesn't work. For the life of me, I cannot remember what it is that keeps them from comboing on you. Annoying to get hit with that, but not lethal. Unfortunately, Luca is just so freaking slow. Not quite, huh? $98 left, okay. Let's go save the game. Use shelter. Probably didn't need to, but still. We'll just take this fairly easy fight here. Probably won't be worth a ton of training points. But it's a fairly safe fight, fairly easy. And it can be over in a heartbeat like that. So 24, yeah, we'll have to do that 4 times. Maybe 5. Boost her speed up a little bit just so she's not as much of a speed liability in combat. See? And just to let you know, you can max out your speed. And if you're playing optimally, that is getting all the treasures and such you need, you can max out your speed on all your, and at least 3 party members fairly quickly. You can find enough speed tabs to just completely max out all 3 party members' speed and keep them there. I think I have to do this one more time. Okay, good. And now we've learned Delta Force. Won't be using it anytime soon. I might keep Luca around just to show off a triple tech. Just kind of showed off. Fire 2 is what you would expect. All enemies use fire. Megaton Bomb is like the grenade, but more powerful. Fire Whirl, all enemies in a circle. Fire Sword, hit foe once with big fire shots. Fire Sword 2 is like Fire Sword, except it affects everything in an area. The Antipode Bombs, basically you hit all enemies with fire and ice. Delta Force, you hit all enemies with a basically tri-elemental blast, which I think would be very bad for this upcoming fight. Because if you remember how I beat Golem, it was basically I got the Golem to do basically an elemental attack I was strong against, in this case fire. And we are actually... Let's use some of the ethers there. The 10 magic points is not great for combat or anything like that. Let's go ahead and save it again. Make sure we're all wearing ruby vests, which halves damage, which is good. Okay. So now, as long as Luca doesn't die right away, Fire 2 is going to make the rest of the fight survivable. I wouldn't say simple by any means, but you know. Just because. Now, we've got them both trapped into using fire. And we have stuff on that halves fire damage. So as long as we never make a mistake and hit them with anything else, like, you know, go crazy and use Luminaire and change them over to lightning stuff, as long as we never do anything stupid like that. Notice we can only hit one of them with that, which is okay. They're not close enough for a circle of any type. And just smacking them with the sword would get them back into that bit where they were using the iron sphere against us. Sadly, this means that Marl is just out there to heal basically the damage that they're going to throw against us, which since they're using that isn't going to be a ton, but we can kind of speed this up, or we can just kind of let Chrono hang back and just let Luca do fire too a lot. Which has the added benefit of keeping Chrono here just in case they actually do whittle us down enough. So we can do Aura Whirl and bring everyone back by a couple hit points. And thankfully the counters do not trigger their physical response. Aura Whirl. So yes, this is a very boring fight. Once you get past the very initial stage of it, this is definitely not a hard fight once you get into the main part of it, and once you get to the point where you're not taking immense amounts of damage from those physical shots. Because truthfully, getting hit by any direct spell, any of their elemental things do a lot less damage than that fire. They're just able to get them off a little faster, from what I remember anyway. I could be completely wrong. But they're trapped in Fire 2 now, and we have ruby vests on. This is one of the reasons I made sure I ground for enough petals and all that, because it's the easiest elemental stuff to get. For now. We will be getting full suits of good elemental armor in not too long from now. And truthfully, I could have probably already gotten some. But, you know, that's technically a side quest that doesn't have a definitive goal or anything. And I'll need a checklist to go along with that. And that means I kind of would have to look it up. And I kind of want to avoid looking things up for most of this fights, or most of this game even. Just the odd thing here and there I will look up. And I will probably go look up the thing I'm talking about here. Those chests that were sealed, we can now go around and unseal them and get goodies inside. But there's a trick to it. And they can burp. Just like Dalton did. So that means you need to keep your stuff up. I know you're close, Luca. Guess now there's only one of us, I could go into the whole thing and just start fire sorting them to death. If I wanted to. The really good kind of soda, that's what they got. In fact, I think just to speed this up. There we go. And people get level ups. Dalton sits there and growls at us and says, I have but one choice left. Run away! And of course now Lavos' energy is kind of flooding the place. And now he's worried about dying. So he's going to run away. They get the same soda that the Malaburos do in Final Fantasy. So just for yucks. I need to buy more shelters. I have the money for it. Not a ton of money. This definitely is not the most money I've ever had in a game. Garlic flavor soda. Yeah. That or they were getting ready to fight Baron Harkonnen. One of the two. Sorry, we got rave lighting going on here. Who, just leapt to his death. That new just leapt to his death rather than stick around here. That's a good sign, right? Can't believe that guy's fucking dead. And yeah, now Luca's gonna say we have to shut that machine down for good. You may wonder why I didn't go back to Isla. Things have just gone south in a very bad way. The machine's kind of controlling her, Queen. I don't think she can. Yeah, more south. We're hitting a pole. If anything lived there, we'd be seeing it. So we pull out the ruby knife in an attempt to shut down this machine. This is our last hope, by the way. The ruby knife turns into the Masamune. But, kinda all in vain, because it's a little bit too late because Lavos is on his way. Yeah, the sword alone does not have the power to stop the Mammon machine. Yeah, so we in essence just finished forging the Masamune. Yeah. This is a real fight. I just wanted to say that this literally is a real fight. If you can survive that opening shot, you can fight him right there. But we could not. So I'm going to let this play out. I actually need to say, yes, this is, I'm not kidding. That is actually literally a real fight. He just gets to open with something that can one-shot the party at this stage. If you ground up enough defense and had the right type of equipment, you could win this fight. We are not there. And technically, this form you're seeing now of Lavos is about twice as strong as the form you meet when you beat the game. At least during a normal first run like you're seeing here. But yes, you can actually beat Lavos right here if you are powered up enough to do it. That is what New Game Plus is for. Not this run. But there's the profit. And yes, it is indeed Magus. Who says he will destroy the thing that just one-shot our entire party. You know, the party that beat him earlier on. Does the game just end? Yes, you get an ending. If you beat Lavos right here, you get an ending. And maybe after I go through and beat the game and get to do some grinding and get everybody up high enough levels, I will come back and I will show everybody all the endings to this game. But yes, there is a very specific ending you get for beating the game right now. There are 13 or 14 endings now to this game. And it all depends on when you actually beat Lavos. And yes, I said when. You can technically see Lavos when you start up New Game Plus. At the fair, at the very first place you really visit, the fair, in between the teleporters, there is a gate that takes you right to him if you want to fight him right at the beginning of the game. You can beat the game in the first 5 minutes, basically, in New Game Plus. But there are so many different times you can go meet Lavos and try to beat him. And if you beat him, you will get interesting endings. Like an ending where dinosaurs rule the earth. You get an ending which does it up MST3K style, and the characters basically narrate in the corner to scenes from the game. Things like that. We won't be seeing that until I beat the game properly, though. So the Queen is now going to taunt Magus. Shala wants to stop it. And Queen Zeal has kind of completely, totally lost the plot here. And smacks Shala. And she hops up on top of Lavos. And basically stuns Magus there, draining his magic power. He shrugged it off, but he hit the thing, and it did absolutely jack shit to Lavos. It did nothing. All this time he spent alone, all this time he planned, all this time he trained, result in nothing. And he is knocked away just like everyone else. No, he wants to destroy Lavos. That's his stick. And now the Queen is just going to obliterate everyone. And, yeah. You are about to see the scene that cemented Chrono Trigger as so memorable way back in the 90s. He tried to summon Lavos before to kill him. That's why. He tried to summon Lavos previously to kill him. That's why. Yeah, so we're all in very bad shape. The Queen is just laughing, sitting on top of Lavos. Our party's down. Magus is down. Shala is in very bad shape. Chrono, being Chrono, is gonna stand up. And we can control him. We can attempt to talk to everyone. But they're just kind of in really bad shape. And Magus's only thought right now is if Shala is okay. And Shala just wants us all to leave at her expense. But, this is Chrono. Chrono ain't giving up that easy. Because he's Chrono. And Lavos has already beaten the stuffing out of him once with just one shot. So what type of chance do you think Chrono really has here? Yeah, Chrono's dead. He just got disintegrated at the hands of Lavos. He's dead. Chrono is that glowing blue spot in the ground there. He'll be gone in a second. So Shala, being probably the best person in Zeal overall, basically throws her life away. She could use this pendant's power to get herself out of there safely. But instead of that, she's just going to send the surviving members of Chrono's team and Magus out of here. And asks that the one last thing we do is do not hate her mother. Because even if you can't forgive her. Yeah, that blue thing is his soul. Yep, Lavos gets to do this, and now Zeal is doomed. Because Lavos just shreds it. Yeah, try to sleep this one off, you guys. And this is why magic died off in the world for all of the humans. So those two were having nightmares, witnessing Chrono dying again. Yeah, Chrono's not around anymore, guys. And so, yeah, after Lavos came up and just spit out his destruction, Not much is left in this era. So yeah, when this happened, a black portal opened up, swallowed Janus and Melchior. And Shala stayed behind in the palace while everything was going bad. Saved us, but sacrificed her own life to do it. Luckily for us, the Epoch is still around. Yeah. Yeah. Found your pendant, which Chrono had. And really, we kept saying that sparkling blue thing was his soul. It kinda was. His soul kinda went into the amulet and did what it could do to stick around. So now we have to select a new party member. Help. Out of my chosen 3 that I must beat the game with, I'm down to 1. I'm literally down to 1 member left to beat the game. So, let's because I kind of need someone strong in front here. Ayla gets to come with. And since I spent a little time leveling up Luca there, she gets to come with too. So we have Surviving Village and we have the Village Commons. Let's go look at the few beings that remain around here. I want that tap. Move. I want tap. Tap. There's a speed capsule or something back there. I want it. Let's see what you have. Shelters. Shelters. There we go. Buy another batch of those. Fill up those. Fill up those. Fill these up. Got 44 of those. Got 33 of those. All you have are items, which is fine. Yeah, and he will eventually have new things to sell, depending on what plot point of the game you're at. So we've heard that story before. So just because I don't want to have to buy it again, because I'll probably forget. Save again right before we go into the commons. You'll find a way. You could say that. No, I think you've got an ice age happening. Thanks to Lavos. Oh, the kid's asleep. Probably good. Oh, good. This needs to happen right now, Dalton. You freaking idiot. So Dalton being Dalton decides to take advantage of this situation and take over. And he recognizes Balthazar's designs for the epic. And Ayla thinks it's her friend, so you know. He tries to cast a spell, but Ayla just kind of bounces it back and looks at him funny for it. And pulls that. Hey, what's that behind you? And for some reason we fall for that. And there's a reason you want Isla for this section. Yeah, our equipment's all gone. Our equipment, our items, everything has been taken away. They captured us and took us bare. It took us basically naked in here. Yep, our money's even gone. But the thing is, Isla doesn't need a weapon. Isla is a weapon. Let's go ahead and save. Now, since we are here, I am going to take a quick break because my cup is nearly empty and I kind of need to use the restroom. So I'll be back in a few. In the meantime, more music.